Healthcare innovations becomes truly meaningful when technology moves beyond lab and reaches people in real world settings responsibly and at scale. Welcome to the MedTech Dialogue where innovations meets intention. Today's episode is especially exciting because we are joined by two founders who have been working towards transforming how cardiac healthcare is monitored, understood, and accessed in India and beyond. Joining us are Rahul Rastogi and Neha Rastogi, the co founders of Agatsa, a health tech company recognized globally for developing Sanket Life, one of the world's first portable touch based 12 lead ECG platforms. What makes Agastha journey remarkable is that they are not simply building devices, they are building accessibility into cardiac care itself. Under the leadership of Rahul Rastogi, co-founder and CEO, Agastha has emerged as one of the India's most promising healthcare innovations companies, combining AI, diagnostics, portability, and preventive healthcare into applicable real-world solutions. Rahul's work reflects the balance between engineering, innovations, and healthcare impact, understanding not just how technology should function, but how it should integrate into everyday healthcare systems. Joining him is Neha Rastogi, founder and COO at Agastha, whose leadership journey has been recognized across some of the most respected entrepreneurial and innovation platforms in the country. She has been recognized as Women Entrepreneur of the Year, Thai Barrack Award, featured among Forbes India 20 Most Audacious Women, included in Outlook's list of women leaders and trailblazers together. Rahul and Neha represent a new generation of Indian healthcare entrepreneurs, founders building technologies that are not only innovative but deeply aligned with real world healthcare needs. Welcome to the MedTech Dialogue, Rahul and Neha.
Thank you
Thank
for
you, Ashwin.
inviting us.
My pleasure. So, Rahul, you have had a fabulous career. You have an engineering background.
Yeah,
You work with LG, then
yeah,
Samsung.
yeah.
At what point of time did you realize that let me do something where I can build something, I can start my entrepreneurship journey? At what point of time you had this
Yeah.
realization?
From the very start, like from our engineering days, Neha has been pushing me to do more and more all the time. So while even before we started Agatsa, we were involved in multiple projects worldwide, where we were working with multiple other companies. This was whenever we got a free time from our job and all. And I was very happy with when I was working in Samsung. Like I had a complete freedom. Uh, I was in the team which launched about 30 mobiles globally,
Okay.
and everything was fine until the day that this reality hit that we still are dependent upon foreign devices to measure very basic things. So what happened is like while I was in Samsung, my dad he got detected with 90% arteries blocked,
Oh,
and that required taking an ECG every time the chest pain happened. Taking an ECG was a huge task at that time. Why? Because ECG, this whole device, this whole setup of ECG was confined to hospital spaces and
okay.
majorly emergency rooms,
Yes.
and that machine was costing upward of 1 lakh. I was actually running with my father at any odd hours, taking him to hospital whenever chest pain was happening. It was wasting 2 to 3 hours. And during this time, I realized that cardiac diseases are number one killer globally. In India, though, it's like a epidemic. I can say
Yeah.
cardiac
Yeah.
diseases. You have seen
Yeah.
so many celebrities
Yes.
losing their life. You lost so great people with heart attack and all. So I thought we thought ki if this is such a big problem, then this device there must be some device that we can buy and we can do an ECG at home. What a big deal! When we searched, we found out that even simple BP machine is imported from elsewhere, not made in
Yeah.
India, And ECG machine, only one silicon company in India, outside India, was working upon. And
And it
that
was not
too,
marketed
it was
still.
not marketed, and that too, it was just a single lead
So
ECG.
pocket ECG was not available.
Pocket ECG, only few Chinese companies which were not even ECG they were claiming. And the Silicon Valley company at that time was giving one graph. In ECG, we have 12 graphs. So, with 8% of information present, 92% absent, a doctor said ki even if you somehow contact them, get a device, it won't help.
Yeah.
So that was the point that we in our home we did it as a project for our own family.
And
We
this was in which year?
It was like 2013 mid,
2013 May. Okay.
and we got it developed in a matchbox. So when
Oh.
dad was putting his thumbs, his ECG was coming on Android phone. That was it, and then doctors from Apollo were really helpful because they were looking after him, and they were very excited. They told us about like it has to be 12 lead, otherwise it doesn't, all those things. And they motivated, rather pushed us to leave our job and do it full time because they saw we did it in couple of months sitting at home with nothing, matlab, no special tools or anything. So they kind of pushed us ki you should make it a lead ECG because this is not present across world. So that's how we
Okay,
started this.
that's
Yeah.
great. So Neha, you two together started this journey. So you did you had any other thought process, or you were just backing Rahul that okay, let's start this entrepreneurship journey?
Um,
Uh, Miss, at what point of time you had a vision that you want to become entrepreneur?
yeah, so as Rahul said, that we started with our own story. Our family, our own father was having this problem, which motivated us to create something which is meaningful. And our thought was that health care should begin at home rather than because nobody falls ill in a hospital. Everyone starts having a problem at home, so there must be tools which can be used at home. Now when this was started, when this thought came naturally, we both thought that it needs a hardware and a software combination. And since we both are engineers, he was working with hardware companies, mobile companies like Samsung and LG, and I was into software development background. So it naturally became a team,
Yeah.
that software thing I could guide upon, and hardware, of course. So that naturally became a team. And of course, when you decide to do something very different, it is always good to become a partner whom you have known since long. So so not just because we were life partners, but also we had known each other since college, and and we knew each other's temperament and working styles and everything. So it was natural that if we have to start something, why not we both do it, which was actually, and even today, if anyone would think it's a foolish idea, that both
Yeah.
the
So
spouses.
you both of you suddenly quit your job and
No.
start.
Actually,
Yeah.
I was already on a break. I had my son,
Okay.
and I had quit my job, and I was already
Okay.
on my maternity break when this started. So when my son turned 1 year, that is when we actually decided to start this very seriously.
Very
Before
seriously.
that, it was a hobby project. It was
Yes.
let's create something. But when we decided to pursue this seriously, my son was already 1 year old, so I had to start something. And then so it was a natural thought that why not become a team and start working on this very motivational and very much needed technology.
Technology.
So that's how
And
it
I'll add
started.
one thing. We were taking our parents to matlab, to my father to hospital, Apollo Jasola. So he and my mother was sitting on the back seat. I was driving. She was sitting. So it was her idea first. She started discussing ki why can't you, we can't we make this is kind. And then
Oh.
my father jumped in. So my father and she was having this
So
conversation, and I was watching my mother and laughing what are they talking about. This is how. So it was
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
because traditionally it has always been that he's the doer and I'm the thinker.
oh,
So
great
all
combination.
the you know funny ideas or whatever ideas they come in my mind, and I just tell him, why can't we do this, why can't we add this also, what if we make something like this out of the blue, like
Out of the
it
blue.
doesn't even exist, nobody has done it, but just out of the blue, like why not, why don't we make a device which somebody just touches and ECG comes on the mobile
Wow.
phone, which was very futuristic at that time. And it just came while the story that he's telling, that while we were driving, and my father-in-law, he said, कंपनीज ऐसे नहीं बनती हैं,
Hmm.
तुम्हें क्या लगता है बहुत पैसा चाहिए होता है कंपनी बनाने के लिए, because nobody actually knew the word
Hmm.
startup that
Yeah,
time.
startup.
So
Correct.
company eventually meant that it is like generational companies की टाटा अंबानी आपके फादर होने चाहिए, and then only you can go to that entrepreneurial journey. So nobody used to believe that two people who have just 5 to 6 years in experience in industry can start this. So this is how, and our parents were not very much into it. They were not at all sold out with the idea that we both should quit our job and
Hmm.
do it. But somehow, yeah, I mean, God is great that the journey
So
started, and it also, yeah, like doors kept on opening, and yeah.
yeah, it's just very impressive because not many people would have courage to start like that, the way you both of you started. One thing I would like to understand, and that would be a very good insight for the audiences. When you thought that okay, you want to just going to start producing this product, you must have done being from engineering background. You must have done a lot of research on ECG. So I would like to know more about that. That how did you research what is ECG, and how did you translate that ideation into a prototype product? Okay, so that would be a great insight for any startup company
Correct.
who is going to build certain new products.
Correct.
What kind of measure they should take to
Correct.
yeah.
So ECG has been around for more than 100 years, almost 100 years, I can say.
Yeah.
And the challenge was Dr. R.A. Mashelkar. He's, you can say, like our mentor, means a lot to us.
Yeah, he's one
He,
of the known. You have
uh,
received two awards also from
yeah,
yeah,
that
Manjali
we have
Bhatt,
received,
yeah.
but like person like him, person like Sushil Bode and
Mm.
Gupta, so they are all our mentors. So they say one very important thing, ki making great technology at high price is very easy.
Mm.
Making low grade technology at low price is also very easy. Making high grade technology
With low price,
with low price,
affordable products.
affordable, inclusive innovation.
Mm.
So when we was researching ECG, so ECG was there for almost 90 years. Challenge was how to make it in a way that a 60, 70% year old person who has just barely learned how to operate Android phone at that time, he can do it at home. That was the challenge.
Simplicity.
So in terms of product innovation for people, I mean, whatever 2 cents that I can offer is that it has to be people talk about technology and then to the end product. I think one way could be you talk on the end product, the end
Yeah.
consumer, how is going to use, and then work backwards.
Wow, that's a great strategy
Right.
because so then you first identify the problem
Yes.
statement, then you
Yes.
solve it.
So ECG machine was there. Like we can
Mm.
spend 1 lakh, get it at home, but will he be able to do it? No. And it can happen when he is outside in market or going anywhere, right? So we cannot carry. So the challenge you have to break down. So we broke down the first challenge that it has to be something that he can carry in pocket. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
Because you rightly said that you were struggling to take your father to hospital
Yes,
every time he
yes.
needed ECG.
And he carries in his pocket,
Mm.
then he should be able to do it at by himself. It should meet that kind of accuracy which a doctor, if he sees it, he can make a judgment. If everything works and doctor still feels that I cannot make any judgment on this, then this whole
That's
product
all.
is of no use. So we start filling in these check marks first. Affordable was definitely in our mind. We come from middle class, and for affordable, making it screen or without screen. I remember we were walking on street at 1 a.m. in the night. I wanted to put a screen because that's how the product will look fabulous. She wanted to removed the screen. and and I was pushing this at 1 a.m. When we were roaming around on street just to discuss this. Because at home this 1 year child won't let us discuss. We came downstairs, and then she somehow said ki abhi just for prototype we do it without screen. I did that prototype with screen. And then we removed the screen subsequently to make it less challenging.
Okay.
And we even did a survey, I remember, with 30 people. We
Yeah.
gave a questionnaire
Okay.
and one question was like,
So at
would you
what
screen?
point of time, Neha, your prototype product was ready?
So, as he said, that first prototype was very ugly, very messy. We just had, we just had to prove that just by touching the ECG, the real ECG was coming on your smartphone. And that time it was an advent of smartphone. Everybody, like 6,000, 5,000 smartphones were coming in market. So it was like natural that you connect your device with the smartphone rather than building a standalone device. So we did it like like in a matchbox, just putting the sensors in very frugal sensors, and we just proved that this ECG is coming and this technology is workable. And then we went to the customers who were doctors, who were actually could guide us, because we were not medical people. So they could actually and some doctors from our family, friends, and others also, like in Apollo and all. And they actually said that this is fabulous. I mean, this is something that innovation of the century. And you, if you have to make it really useful for doctor community and for even for users, you make it 12 lead, because that nobody has cracked yet. So so that is when we realized that okay, this prototype is working, and now this can be converted into a full commercial product. And now we need to seriously look into this, like how to make it a low cost, affordable, but easy to use full 12 lead ECG
ECG
product,
product, yeah.
such that even doctors are happy to use it. And that is when we realize that yes,
And I'll add one thing. While we were focusing so much on ECG, the quality and interpretation, I forgot to add a normal on-off switch on the prototype. So I remember, I think it was Indian Angel Network, ma'am from Indian Angel Network, who was preparing us for pitches, and she was a fabulous woman. She prepared us for pitches. We There was a phase for a couple of years where we went and we won first prize. Uh, so she used to pitch and present, and at the back I was just joining those wires to make this on-off switch work.
so such that
That
the
was,
demo
yeah.
works. Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever we go, like, so we used to carry that soldering machine and
So,
whole
oh
get
my
up. So
God.
one before night I was again mending. So that continued. I think this phase continued for a very long
It's
time
a very
until, yeah.
fascinating, story. If you go back to those years,
Yes.
you can still,
Yeah,
recollect what you were doing, and
yeah.
it was not that easy to, Initial days are
No,
always
no. But
struggling.
it was always like we never thought, like we never thought that we are struggling.
Okay.
Although the phase was really challenging, and we
Mm.
had no vision of finance, how, where would we earn money. There was a 1 year old child whose diapers were so expensive, how, like, his future and everything. But every challenge used to be very exciting,
Exciting.
and it always used to excite us. Whenever there were problems, it used to excite us, and we both used to sit and discuss that how to solve this problem. And this is how there were very low phases also in the journey, but that is how somewhere, somehow or the other, we actually found out a way that okay, we can do it. So I feel this is the best part of the journey, not the highs only, but obviously there were many highs. As he said, all the awards that we went to, all of them we used to win. मतलब इतनी आदत पड़ गई थी जीतने की कि अगर एक, there was one award where it was from ambassador of Israel. It was a very prestigious women entrepreneur, and three women were to be sent to Israel, like winning women. and everyone before only said that you are the winner, you
Oh,
pitch, you
great.
win. And somehow, I don't know what happened, I went blank on stage in that particular award, and he was sitting in the audience. Usually he never attended whenever I pitched, but he that day he was sitting in the audience. And and obviously I didn't win like other three. There were only five participants, imagine, and I couldn't win, and three others won, and they went to Israel. And he was like, how could you do it, and this and that. And that was the moment that I don't remember if I had participated in any of the pitching or
No,
any
after
awards.
that you won Biner.
I don't remember anything that I could not win, because that day I made this resolve that whatever happens, I'll prepare. I'll like all night long I was remembering and what to pitch and what questions could come and everything. And that after that I think we won
That's
every
great. So one of the thing which I could understand is that in India currently, if you have a product, if you have a visions,
Hmm.
so government there are supports
Hmm.
available. So
Hmm.
that is,
Hmm.
it's very important for all the startup company in
Hmm.
India
Hmm. Hmm.
currently to understand
Hmm. Yes.
that if you have a product, if you
Hmm.
have a concept, you are
Hmm.
going to get support from various committees,
Hmm.
various authorities.
Hmm.
Government is going to support you.
Hmm.
So can I say that,
So
Rahul?
since like 14 when we started, we have seen a rise and fall of it. We have seen times where government has really endorsed everybody, but it's the companies who have probably not been able to do that well in terms of product. I'm just talking about the product and the views. Government did it. The only challenge with government right now still is that it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to basically get that money in the hand of that entrepreneur, because entrepreneur is always exhausted out of oxygen.
Yeah.
He needs money right now. After maybe even sometimes a week, he won't be there. We have seen it with.
Yeah, so it's like you wanted to give a message that
Yeah.
if somebody starting his journey, he needs particular things at the right point of time. Otherwise,
Yeah. See.
there could be a significant delay, and that's where government need to pitch
So,
in.
so,
And
so see, 80-90% of funding that happens in India is outside money. We don't have any fund from our big houses, which are very big houses globally as well. But they don't invest into the startups. They probably acquire when they reach to a certain stage. But at the growth level, it's only angel money, VCs, and VCs are backed by outside India money. So they see
okay,
their own.
so I would a little bit insight on from prototype to commercial product. How much time it took? When did you obtain your regulatory approvals? If you could just
So
let us know on that part.
our prototype was ready, full tunnel lead was ready in 2 to 3 years of extensive failures and research.
Okay.
But there was no reference. We were doing sequential ECG. So first question was that ECG has been done for 100 years in simultaneous way, that all leads are required at one shot. You have made it
Yeah,
sequential,
sequential.
right? So we don't trust it. And that's how we got started with the Jayadeva Hospital, Bangalore. They did the first trial, very extensive trial, and the result came out absolutely accurate.
Validation was good.
Absolutely accurate. We knew it was accurate, but still you need paper to be published. And then as doctors started using it, we had to. This whole new concept was actually shaken. Of age old way of doing ECG was completely shaken. So we had to do a lot of trials to
Prove that
prove
your
that.
results are consistent.
Generally, earlier, yeah. Otherwise, in doctor conferences, when we were pitching, we were always faced with these kind of questions. But then the medical trials, they answered it. So it took about 3 years in prototyping,
Okay.
then about a year in medical trials,
Right.
initial trials, and then after selling, like it was in 2018 when there was absolutely no vision of Indian Sedesco and all those. So even then, 2018, we went to Sedesco.
When did you form up your design of the product?
It was
Because prototype you said in you built in
it was in like two
Matchbox.
three years.
Two
We were
three years.
trying
Okay.
so many things. So we were doing it very fast on 3D printers,
Okay.
and we are doing it on very fast. Like every day we are seeing the usability, and so 2018 we approached Cedesco and we showed our product, and then they gave us a letter that you can go ahead and sell. It's still not
Oh.
regulated in India,
Yeah,
and
in 2018,
18, yeah.
yes.
And 22 when the laws were there,
Yeah.
we got a class B
Class.
Cedesco of it. But it took almost 5 years basically from a first prototype to the research trials, proper launch you can say,
Proper launch.
where it was getting sold on a
So
purpose.
one of the insight, Neha, would be that for startup company who, for my
Yeah.
audiences, that when you have a product, so in 2018 you had a maybe I can say that it was a approved product
Yeah.
for you to market.
Yeah.
So how did you start commercializing those? So what are the strategy if one of the
Yeah.
startup companies viewing this podcast, what insight would you like to give it to them?
So, actually, when we started, there were no medtech companies in India, at least, whom we could watch and learn, and we can take as a reference point. So, we actually had to do everything ourselves. We had to, learn, and there was no chat GPT also at that time. So, we had to do a lot of research and see what would work and what would not. And obviously, we had learned from a lot of failures also. So, as you also asked the regulatory part, first thing was that we did not want to market a product which was not regulated, because the first question people used to ask us was, how do we trust this? This
Yeah.
this is a very toy like product. How do we trust that? And we were dealing with the most complex organ of our body, which is heart, and which actually deals with the lives of
Yeah.
people. As Rahul said, that we right from the beginning we were meeting with CDSO people, even when there were no regulatory aspects of medical devices in India. They never existed. We met with them, and we used to show our trials, and see, this is the publication, these are the trial reports, this is the accuracy, and they used to give us a NOC that okay, you can market it. So we always had this vision that we do not want to market anything which is not proven, or which is a shady product, or which is like doesn't fit into the protocol. And then as your question is the marketing part of it, there was no playbook like today. When we talk about D2C companies, there's a set playbook,
Yeah.
the influencers,
Platforms
the
everywhere.
platforms, the social media, and everything. For us, none of this existed. The only part that we could learn was, or we could think of, was that we want to make our product reach every household. And how do we make it reach every household? That time Amazon and Flipkart, they were upcoming,
E-commerce platform. Yeah.
e-commerce platforms. They were like, people were trusting them to buy products. And so we thought, why not start marketing our product through these marketplaces? And that is how we started. And of course, eventually everything came along, like what D2C startups are doing now, the ads and the social media and everything. But what actually worked for us, as I said, that because we followed a regulatory path, we were able to establish that trust. So when doctors started using our product, and we had never made the product for doctors actually. We made it for users to use at home, but because it was accurate, because it was and we could prove that credibility. So when doctors started using, we used to take those stories from them, that how it helped you, or how you helped your patient through it. And those stories, or maybe sometimes they used to share that I I use your product for a surgery, and this
Hmm.
actually got printed in Times of India. So they
Wow.
used to share those stories, those snippets, and we use those as our marketing tools. No flashy ads or no flashy celebrity endorsements or
Because all
influencer.
these flashy things need money.
Yeah,
So
need
I
money, and
And we
yeah,
come from India Mart and early Amazon Flipkart days. So
yeah. So
our first sale was from India Mart
yeah,
query.
India
That
mad. Oh God.
yeah, we listed and then we went to that doctor. He's a very senior doctor here in Delhi.
Hmm.
We went and we showed the product. We didn't had even apart from that demo piece, we didn't have the second piece also, and we didn't know the price also. And when he opened the check and asked the price, then we were confused like how much to sell it for. So he liked it immediately and he opened the check and he gave us the first check, first buyer,
Hmm.
and that's how we kind of.
So one of the thing, Neha, as you rightly mentioned, regulatory approval.
yeah,
So Rahul, you said that in 2022 you could obtain,
yeah.
regulatory. Did you see any, commercialization strategy change after that? Suddenly your volumes got picked after you obtained the regulatory approval. Anything? Because that is another insight for the viewers that okay, if you are taking regulatory approval in the first go, that actually
See,
helps
for medtech
marketing.
startups, I would say taking medical regulatory approvals should be the way,
Mm.
because if you are doing anything serious, any serious kind of medical monitoring like blood pressure or ECG or such things, definitely regulations help, because that help to establish credibility and
Credibility.
trust,
Trust.
and people can actually trust. But then even the CDSU and government should also work to make people aware that these are the certifications, and they should also market themselves a bit that these are the certifications, and if a product has got, because traditionally people used to believe foreign products and foreign approvals. So anything which is US FDA approved or which is CE
Mm.
approved, it automatically becomes more
More
credible and
credible. Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So CDSU, because recently only they've made these changes on in their medical devices, and hardly people know, even the doctors. They also sometimes get confused कि IMA से approval लेकर आओ या इससे
I
अप्रूवल
miss
लेकर
it.
हाँ
ICMR
बोल
से
देते हैं
अप्रूवल लेकर आओ. They don't know कि भाई ICMR नहीं देता है अप्रूवल, IMA नहीं देता है अप्रूवल. This is the body which gives approval. So I would say that sometimes they should also market themselves to make people aware, and user aware, that these are the regulatory bodies, and these
Yeah.
and of course the people who are building something, regulatory path
So
is the way
yeah.
to
So
go.
see, we always advise company that if you are a startup company or you are
Yeah,
starting your entrepreneurship journey,
yeah,
the first thing what you should do is develop your regulatory strategy. That's
exactly.
very important.
Yeah,
So once you have a prototype ready,
yeah,
it's very important that you develop the entire regulatory pathway. Parallelly, you also develop your clinical development pathway
true.
because combining those two can take your product on a faster pace for regulatory
I
approvals.
mean, yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely
that's
correct.
yeah.
This is not something as an additional that the entrepreneur should think this is the part of the
This is a
deal.
part of the
This
yeah.
is the part of the deal.
Mm.
And again, I'll say I think we are sitting in just third year, I guess, or fourth year maybe, where the rules are now implemented.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if we see last 20 years, we were in a place where these rules were not formed. So thankfully now government has formed these rules,
Yeah.
and as Neha said and you said, probably they should market themselves as well,
Correct.
and this is something non-negotiable at all.
One of the insight, Rahul and Neha, and this question open to both of you is, medical device is something which evolves. The product
Yeah,
itself evolves. So
Hmm.
how many versions of Sanket Life?
Many. Matlab, if you come to our office, so you'll
So currently, which version you are using and
the,
when you start, what
and the
version is?
hardware. I mean, even if the hardware freezes, the
Hmm.
industrial design freezes, the software, the algorithm, they always keep evolving.
Okay.
Always you keep on adding more accuracy, adding more feature. So this is a never ending thing. We made so many iterations. We added screen, small screen, big screen. Though I mean, we commercialized only 5% of what we did,
Great. Yeah.
and software. So every day we are looking into there's a lot of post market data.
Yeah. So one other thing, in India or now India has also brought software
As in part
as a
of
medical device. It's just a regulation, and if you go to US FDA and other country, they have also brought a regulation. If you're changing your algorithms,
Hmm.
if you're changing, you need to give a 5-year plan
Hmm.
to regulators that okay, in 5 years, this is my vision, and this is what I am going to do. These are the algorithms which I am going to change. Okay, and you give them a plan. The US FDA will give the entire approval. So every time you are changing the algorithm or you are changing anything, you need not
Right.
take approval for newer version of the.
Yeah, because most of, I mean, nowadays, because the mobile is a powerhouse, and to add anything in hardware is a cost. However, to add that thing in software is not a cost.
Not a
So,
cost, yeah.
generally, the approach in across medical devices is that you do minimum things in hardware, just gather something and transfer it over Bluetooth to mobile, let the software. So right now I'll say it is 80% of medical devices the software only. 20% or 10% is hard.
So Neha, let us talk about little bit about your funding journey. So we would love to hear when did you receive your first funding, how it evolved over a period of time, what insights you learned from those fundings, what insight you want to give it to
Yeah.
startup companies on that part.
So I think we have been lucky that we were able to raise funds at the right stages from very right people. Although it doesn't happen to most of the companies, but we were lucky because our vision was very clear. And right from like we started with angel funding mostly from HNIs who believed in our idea and who thought that such technology should be built in India, not should come from outside. If we can build in India, then it should be built. So we got such funding. We got funding from IAN, which is Indian Angel Network, and I think it was oversubscribed when this funding round was open, and about 40 people invested just for the idea,
In
and we were
30
only
minutes, yeah.
in 30 minutes it
It
was
was supposed to be
oversubscribed.
open for 2 days. In
Okay.
30 minutes.
Yeah. So, and then of course, the more I think, this funding part, I would like to make a point. Seeing the startup landscape and ecosystem in India right now, funding has become a validation of your
Product.
product, and
Yeah.
and also your success.
Correct.
I would differ on that. Funding should be taken only when it is required, and it should help you push forward, rather
Evolve.
than
Yeah.
just because X company has raised this amount of fund, and you take pressure that I also have to get this amount of fund to make myself visible. So, and even media just chase those companies who have raised massive funds, but we have seen traditionally that even the companies who have raised massive funds have failed because of this vision part. So I guess we have been good. Rahul can also make
So
some comments
my
on
Yeah.
funding.
perspective
Yeah.
of funding has completely changed when we started, and now where we are. So when we started, I used to only think about funding to reach to the next milestone, because and but now having raised TikTok funding in past from reputed organizations, now like as first generation entrepreneurs we have done so many mistakes, so many, and we have done most of the mistakes when we had lot of funding there. So maybe a learning lesson for the is that uh, an entrepreneur should behave should work on a daily basis or a monthly basis in a way that as if he has no funding,
Oh,
even though
okay.
there is funding. So what happens is like even investors start pushing you that you should expand, make big team, and key players, and then you
How to
don't
become
even.
successful with frugal approach?
So what? Also, that's very nice question. Apart from Sanket Life device, most of the product that
Yeah, I'll ask that question later on. That what all other products you are working
no,
on.
so in this perspective, most of our successful products have come when we had no funding. They came with customer capital.
Oh,
So so there is a full customer capital thing that is used very widely in US and global markets, where an entrepreneur can go and talk about his product and launch his product. Willing customers can make early purchases.
only purchases. Okay.
Even the product is going to be shipped after 6 months, 1 year, even 1.5 years. So there are global platforms where now even companies like Philips and all, they're launching their products first there. So our all successful products have been the products where we have approached our customer first,
Wow.
get people, we are launching this. If you think it is something meaningful, you
So
can.
customer is directly giving a verdict on your
Yeah.
concept that okay, I am liking
So
your
they
concept.
pre-book,
Yeah.
pre-book, and then we kind of are able to make manufacturing batches and all. This is something I think.
Okay, so let us talk about your other products on which you're working. Apart from Sanket Life, what all other products you're working currently?
So in COVID, what happened is we moved to expanded to multi-parameters, and we started including other sensors. So what was happening before COVID and is that a lot of Chinese variable were coming to India, and all were claiming big things, even ECG and blood pressure, blood sugar from PPG, uric acid from PPG, cholesterol from
Uric
PPG,
acid
and
and
people were
cholesterol.
buying
My
it.
God.
We thought, yeah, let's analyze this. We launched multi-parameter device called Sanket Life Multimeter. It does ECG and with PPG sensor, a couple of other things which were very helpful in COVID because it has a thermometer, infrared thermometer,
Oximeter
SpO2
also.
oximeter
Okay.
inbuilt, ECG was there, and so,
Mm-hmm.
and then we stumbled upon the diabetes thing in 2021, early 2021, and we did a lot of research in parallel on to the diabetic and blood pressure along with ECG, because if we are able to solve ECG, cardiac, BP, and sugar, that's take care of majority of NCDs.
Yeah.
So since then, we launched Easy Touch Wellness last year, which calculates wellness metabolic score, which is not a glucometer per se, but it is used alongside a glucometer, where it reveals a lot of information on how your body is is working under food, under stress.
Maybe if
Yeah.
you're taking any sugar-rich diet, you can check it after
Yes,
that to
yes,
see
yes,
how your
yes.
body is
It's a
behaving.
companion to glucometer.
Because
Yeah.
when you are not taking, it will be lesser. When you are
Yes,
taking,
yes,
so at
yes,
least
yes,
you will
yeah,
know that
yeah.
okay.
So and now we are moving to including it in variable. So now we are working on the next generation variable, which could do this continuous way, monitoring 24 cross 7. So it will not be a CGM per se as such, but much better and much more informative and useful to a user rather than the CGM alone.
Yeah, so it will be kind of pre-screening kind of thing
Yes, yeah,
where
yeah, something, yeah, yeah,
it's not diagnostic in nature, but yeah,
yeah,
this will
but
give you information.
exactly.
So Neha, ECG device Sanket Life is your product, which is for illness.
Yeah.
Are you also working on some of the wellness product? Because in India, this is a time when we shift ourselves from reactive to preventive
Very
medicines.
good question, Ashwini. Actually, like since ages, ECG has been considered as a reactive tool. Only when heart attack happens, only when chest pain happens, people rush to hospital, and only paper ECGs are taken out to see if there is a heart attack or not. So ECG is a very good tool to actually find out what is wrong with your heart, which people don't know. Now, obviously, every day nobody is going to do ECG just like that, because I mean, obviously, everyone believes that my heart is fine and why I should take daily ECG. But that's where these variables or these wellness products come into picture. So let's say I have a smart band or a smart watch which shows that I'm taking less sleep, like I'm sleeping for only 2 to 3 hours, and then I'm also going to work out, and I'm working out for 2 hours, and then I'm also dealing with stress, work related stress and other kind of stress, and all these factors cumulatively is actually affecting my heart, not just heart but my metabolic health, my other hormones and other factors also. So now is the need when like since many years these smart bands and smart watches are being sold, which is giving data like heart rate and how many steps you walked, and even sleep devices have come lately. But people don't know what to do of that data, because if your ring or your watch is telling you that you slept for 2 hours, okay, you go and sleep for 8 hours, and you will recover. But then how do I know that only sleeping for 8 hours will give me that recovery, because stress is still there,
Yeah.
my eating habits are still that bad, other stuff is also there, I'm not working out, I'm not walking enough. So for that, I think these tools that Agatsa has developed, like ECG, Sanket like ECG, which is very easy to use, and you can take occasional ECG, and if your variable is actually telling you that your resting heart rate is consistently elevated, and even when you're waking up in the morning, your heart rate is high or your HRV is very messed up, then is the time you actually go and take a snapshot of your heart, that everything is fine or not. And believe me, we have research data, we have seen, we have about 1.5 cr people's data in our database
Wow.
in last that we have collected over last 10 years or so. And we have seen that this longitudinal data as in which is for the same person, which is taken at regularly,
Regular
not
intervals.
just once, not
Yeah.
just for one episode. So this longitudinal data actually shows a lot of insights that how your heart is changing, how your heart health is changing. And by improving just small lifestyle things, like taking small steps, you can again see how your heart health is improving.
So your
So
product, does it give insights also that what
yes,
is
so I
okay?
was coming to that. So we
Okay.
have developed a Nira AI. Nira AI
Okay.
is again a combination of Neha and Rahul, NERA,
Okay.
on our own data. So it's our own AI, which actually takes inputs from all the devices, and it gives you a risk score, and it gives you all those insights that if you're sleeping less, if you're eating something, your eating habits are something, you're eating at wrong times, if you're walking less, if you're working out less, or even if you're working out more, which your heart is unable to take, it gives you all those insights. And also it couples with the serious medical devices like ECG and everything, which gives you the real disease that there is a possibility of this disease happening, which is I think first in the world. Nobody has been able to do it yet, just by seeing the ECG detecting a problem, detecting a disease. So now, right now, we are at an intersection of wellness with these wellness data, sleep, steps, heart rate, and other stuff, and the real medical data, and how those things are affecting the health at large. So yes, so right now we have a gamut of products, right from the wearable band to the BMI
So this,
machine.
sorry to cut you between this Nera, the product which you
Yeah,
are talking, the Nera app.
yeah.
It does it also have a glucose?
Yeah, so it takes inputs from
Because
all
then
our
it's
devices.
that becomes a very good app to have.
Right. So it takes input.
Mm.
We have our blood glucose, non-invasive blood glucose also. We have
Mm.
ECG also. We have a BMI machine also. We have wearable band also. So it takes input from all these machines, and depending upon it also, even if you're only wearing this band and you are like 40 plus or something, and it is seeing that your heart rate is consistently high, or your your HRV is messed up, it will suggest you that you should get an ECG, and you start monitoring your ECG to see changes in your heart, which is actually
This
very
is a true
valuable.
preventive
Yeah,
wellness
this is
product, I
very
would say.
valuable.
Yeah.
Why only take ECG when you're about to die? You should prevent your death,
Yes,
and you
yes,
should
absolutely.
actually, that
And
is where these tools
the cardiac
actually
events are
become
increasing,
valuable.
so much
Yeah,
nowadays in India,
yeah,
in entire world.
correct.
These kind of products would become a very good tool to have,
Yeah,
product to have.
absolutely.
Rahul, you want to add something on this in this new product?
So I'll just give one example that is mine. So what happened is, like, for last 6 years, 6 months, I stopped gym and all my regular, and I was still taking about 3,000 to 4,000 calorie per day diet.
3,000 to 4,000.
Because when you are working out, so I was on a mission to do something, and
Neha, you're
I
feeding him a lot of fat and
no,
carbohydrates.
so I had a vision and I had to stop it. So what happened is, I gathered some belly weight, belly fat, which is not visible as well. So in Agatsa ecosystem, we have ECG device, we have BP, we have sugar, we have BMI machine, we have wearable band, and so what happened is that when I was doing my BMI, it calculates everything. You have visceral fat and protein. So suddenly my cardiac risk score in the whole app started increasing. And then app showed me that my resting heart rate has increased to 9 points.
9%.
9
Yeah.
points. So it is now close to 100, which is high. And my overall heart rate has increased to about 15 points. This my app showed. Then it showed ways to stop it. So started suggesting diets and a fixed sleeping hour
Wow.
and all those things. So basically, this whole ecosystem works in a way that even suppose I don't have a my wellness machine, or it doesn't have, even though I can click my BP machine at home in the app, or the glucometer I can click, the information will
Data
be
will
there.
come to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
it's about 9-10 parameters input it is taking. So if I have not slept well in the morning, it will not say that you walk so much, which happens nowadays in variables, that inadvertently it will say you walk 10,000 steps, not knowing what is my heart condition, what is my other background. So this is our ecosystem that no we have evolved into now, not just a single device. It's a complete picture.
So let us now discuss on other very important point. How are you envisioning in future AI is going to reshape the healthcare industry,
Hmm.
or AI based medtech
So
devices?
see, I'll be very open and upfront on it. See, it's a fact that it has evolved in last 10-15 years in West. It is not a one year, 2 year game, and India has lost.
India has
India has
lost.
lost that bus.
Yeah.
So now, no matter what we do, they basically will be ahead of us. But the advantage that we have is data. For example, I'll tell you, if you open, and this is a test that we did, and so we opened over ChatGPT, Cloud, and all. We pasted just an ECG waveform
Waveform.
copy,
Okay.
and we asked them to detect what's the disease.
Hmm.
So out of 5 times, only one time this was correct. Same with Cloud. With our data that we had, which is now close to about 2 crores raw data, we developed an AI, right? And so that AI was always perfect because it has seen that data.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
It
that
has
too, it has
learned.
seen Indian data.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that AI is very perfect. Now, why I've quoted our AI, it's not about our AI itself. You talk about hospitals, right? So many data is being generated every day in hospitals, in diagnostic lab, in blood tests, right? So what we in healthcare needs to do is to now train on this raw data immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
So that way,
Indian data.
which these Cloud AI and ChatGPT will never have.
I got it. So, see, this is one of the great insight. And recently, I was, reading an interesting news which came up. Indian Council of Medical Research, they are now promoting Indian research on Indian patient
Right.
to develop Indian protocol to be
Right.
followed for treatment.
Right.
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 And this is the same concept, I think, which
Yes.
you are bringing in AI, that
Yes.
Indian AI data
Yes.
will have
Correct.
a.
We have the world's, we can generate highest amount of
Yes,
data.
yes.
So we should technically, at least in healthcare, we
Doctors.
should be number one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think in 2 years' time, we can be number one in healthcare AI if we all start focusing on working on gathering this data, first of all, not letting a patient walk out of OPD without we capturing that data first. And that's how we are kind of we
So
discussed
for
with
the
major
data
hospitals.
part, I would also like to make a comment. All these wearable devices that are market, Indian market today, they're all coming from outside India. So all these connected devices which are working from with mobile app, all the
Server.
data is going there.
Absolutely.
So
That is
even
also one of
if
the very great point, because data
right,
protection agreement.
right. So we need to have data acquisition products also built in India, like Agatsa is making, and so that all the data remains
Within India.
within India, and then that data can also be used for research purposes to actually develop these protocols and these AI and everything, because India is a huge country, and western protocols will never work, never with this demography and with this variety of demography. It is not also the similar demography. So South India has a different kind of habits and demography, climate and everything. North India, Kashmir. So it has so much of variety that now focus should be to build an ecosystem where the data acquisition devices are also Indian, plus this data is generated and then this AI is
So
worked
yeah,
upon.
so Neha and Rahul, one of the thing which currently, if you see in Indian hospitals, which is now in upsurge, I would say it's uprising, a trend, new trend. Though it was there in reputed hospitals, we call it electronic health records. So earlier, if you see when you are visiting doctors, they used to write on papers.
Papers, yeah.
Now it is everything
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
laptops, and so just imagine those data
Right.
are
Right.
being stored somewhere.
That's what.
That
Yeah.
is electronic health records in
Right.
all the
Right.
hospitals.
Right.
So a lot of insights can come if there are some real world evidence studies which analyze those electronic health records. They can come with, because see, you have those medications which you are
Right.
prescribing to patient.
Right. Right. Right.
You can have a various subsets of population who are getting the same medication.
Right.
What are
Right.
the newer side effects which are coming? So
Right.
so like that, if you're developing any AI products, if you want some insights, there are electronic health record data that
Yes.
could be
Yes.
very useful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We are
Like suppose if you're developing Nira AI, okay,
Hmm.
and you also develop a column of medications,
Hmm.
that if you're taking these medications,
Hmm.
naturally your heart rate would be higher.
Right.
So you
That's
need not
what
panic.
exactly.
So this is one of the insights.
Exactly. No,
Correct.
perfect.
Okay.
You have just hit the
Yeah,
nail.
yeah. So
And then I should not be asked by my app to walk
yeah.
10,000 steps
Yes,
because I
yes.
can die.
Because I know that because of
Right.
the medication I'm
Right.
having this.
Right.
You
Right.
know. Yeah.
And sir, these things happen over time as well. For example, in first consultation, it is highly unlikely that any physician or doctor will write you an MRI, for example. So even in breast cancer cases, there is a series involved where it will be examined, then it will be ultrasound, then it would be probably MRI or a swab test and all, right? So this whole history from day one, if it is fed into an AI engine across India,
Yeah.
the Chat GPT and Claude will not stand. They'll
Not
buy from
stand.
Indian companies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We constitute 1/6 of the world population.
Exactly. But then, as Neha said, these acquisition devices should be Indian.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can preserve this data. Because if it's in foreign device and the data lands into a Californian server, it's out.
So Neha and Rahul, we are at the end of our podcast conversation. Any message would you like to give to a new startup company and
Hmm. I think one is like start from the customer think about business first and funding later. In this particular industry, I mean, recently, I mean, it's not something that will happen. It is a very long and patient game. This particular art sector is a very long game.
Long, yeah, yeah.
So until unless you're very very passionate about it, don't get into this thing, because ultimately otherwise you will get tired. Results don't come very quickly, and you're talking about health, which is the most complex thing. Don't get into it unless and until you've really signed up for a decade at least. I'll say, to see start seeing the results.
Passionate. You have to be passionate,
You have to
dedicated.
really
Yeah,
like
really.
human body first of all.
Mm.
You have to understand how it works. So it's
Physiology.
more, yeah. From there, I think even then only you get in. Otherwise,
Neha, you would like to add something?
I would say that to all entrepreneurs, firstly, do not start just to, just thinking that being a business owner will make you rich. You have to solve a problem. India is a country which has lot of problems, health or otherwise. So start with solving a problem. Build with purpose, and slow and steady wins the race. So don't stress yourself that x company in the west has raised this amount of money, or even in India, and you are behind, because there is no
One of the
definition of
article, Neha,
success.
just to stop you, as I think you were, one of the things which I just few days back I learned, and I was reading one of the articles. Whatever valuation you have, your company has today in India,
Hmm.
similar kind of company in US will have 10x valuation.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that is the thing. So
That's
if
the, yeah.
if you are at certain point, you should not feel that I am
Correct.
low, because as you rightly mentioned, we should not
Correct.
compare ourselves with Western.
There's no definition of success. Success is very personal. You should feel successful, that okay, I have solved this problem, I have touched, like I said, 1.5 cr data, we have touched 1% population of India.
Wow.
This is, I think, success for
Impact.
us. This
This
is
is
the
a high
impact,
impact. Yeah.
yeah. And be passionate, be patient to build what you're building, what you have signed up for, and with the right vision and with the right kind of work, you will reach there. So that's
Wow,
my
wow.
message.
Thank you,
thank you,
Rahul. Thank you, Neha. So
Thank
I
you.
thank you,
think we
Vishnu.
had a wonderful podcast, and to my all audiences, today we learned one of the great entrepreneurship journey of Rahul and Neha. I hope you all startup companies would get inspired by their vision, and maybe you follow some of the advice which they gave in today's podcast. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ashwini.